are getting up this hour of night, in the middle of the night, to gather there and sing and dance and celebrate? What can they be doing? They must be fanatics. Well, modernity has rendered fanaticism disreputable, but this is not fanaticism, I suggest. This is a kind of exquisite sense of the precision of the cosmic clock, of which we are a humble and unwitting part. Unwitting, but not unaware. And the fact that we are here to celebrate, not so much the event itself, it doesn't care, but celebrate the fact that we are able to comprehend this, that we can be conscious as entities of this great grand thing, so much greater than we are, that is happening, that will happen at exactly 1:48 yet again here this morning. So we're here to celebrate ourselves in a way. So congratulations to you all for being part of this.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Singers together on the violins together, if it's possible, on the other side of the stand here by Ambassador Chiguri, and then capture a picture.
Hi, it's Paul Slakis, Good News Broadcast. This is a special edition of the Water Hour program. We're here in the United Nations, next to the Peace Bell, which was rung at 1:48 Universal Time. And we heard from some of the Earth Society people talking about how this is Earth Day worldwide. 1:48 Universal Time. People are ringing bells all around the world. Okay, we have on our today's program, we have people from the United Nations, UNICEF actually, and the Fund for UNICEF, and we're talking about the Tap Water Project. In addition to that, we are able to go to the Water Not Weapons at the Yippee Museum, and it's going to be a wonderful program. The Water Hour, we've already created 30 programs, and we ask you to enjoy those and tell your friends. So welcome, and we look forward to sharing good news about the world's water. Thank you.
Yes, this is a special moment for spread peace, love, joy to the whole world. May peace prevail on earth.
Hi, it's Paul Slakis, Good News Broadcast. I'm here with Rachel Swanson. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hi. Hello. Welcome.
Well, it's great to be here. This is a a very, very, very important moment, actually, for Good News and the Water Hour program, because, in essence, I almost believe in total that the reason why we've been doing 30 hours so far of water programming, or parts of the reasons why I personally have been in the communications for 36 years, is to be here at this moment because of the kinds of things that you're doing. What you're the things you're doing, you're with well, who are you with? You probably can say it better than I want to make sure it's correct.
Sure. I work here at the U.S. Fund for UNICEF, so we're here in our offices. And I'm working right now on a program, a really exciting project called the TAP Project, which is celebrating the water that we have access to here in the United States. March 16th through the 22nd is World Water Week, which I'm sure you're aware of. And the week culminates on World Water Day, which is March 22nd. So the TAP Project is engaging restaurants, volunteers, diners, donors, really everyone across the country in raising awareness and providing access to clean and safe drinking water around the world.
Okay, and around the world, let's speak of it in that manner.
Mm-hmm.
So, in essence, the monies that are raised potentially could end up with a third world country, a poor child that unfortunately doesn't have a good glass of water.
Right. So UNICEF is the United Nations Children's Fund, and we work in over 190 countries around the world, really helping to save children's lives every day. So UNICEF has saved more children's lives than any other humanitarian organization in the world, and we know from all of the work that we've done that unclean drinking water and unclean sanitation facilities are the number two killer of children around the world. So we're working to provide access to clean and safe water for those children.
What's the number one then?
Pneumonia, actually.
Pneumonia.
Yep, pneumonia.
Jeez, didn't I? I don't know why didn't think that. Somehow I thought we had some cures for pneumonia. Are those not getting to the children?
Well, it's true. Pneumonia, as well as the complications related to nutrition and health facilities, they're definitely preventable causes, and so there are many, many, many children. So 9.7 million children die each year from preventable causes, including water and pneumonia.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not good news. But what is good news is the organization. Is the fund for UNICEF different than the UNICEF itself, or it's all part of one, or why do you have a different name?
Oh, well, UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, is a UN agency. We were started in 1946, and the U.S. Fund for UNICEF is one of about 35 national committees. So we're what's called a national committee, and we do education, advocacy, and fundraising to benefit UNICEF headquarters, which is also located here in New York City. So the U.S. Fund is here in the U.S., obviously, but there's the Irish Fund for UNICEF, the Japanese Fund for UNICEF, and so there are a number of committees around the world.
I really like to learn more about how you actually get the water to the children, because in essence I've been saying, I probably have said it maybe in all almost all the shows, is that we are, in my mind, and this is enlightening for me, is that we're high tech, we're here in fancy schmancy buildings, we have computers, we have all kinds of people on the moon and so on and so forth, and we can't get a glass of water to a poor child as we sit here almost. Mm-hmm. Who's going to pass away? Mm-hmm. So we are definitely a mismanaged world, and it's aggravating to a major degree. So to hear that UNICEF is doing this kind of work, so how can the world help? And if UNICEF is the group, a lot of times we have all these splinter organizations, and that's all good too, because it gets more there, but the full organization, if everybody gave UNICEF, who obviously has some management and ability to get the water to build the wells or do whatever they're doing, what a little then would they do in a third world country?
Well, there are a lot of life-saving technologies that UNICEF does employ, and we do have the reach and the potential and the innovation and access to those technologies. There's a lot that every person can do in order to participate in that work, and so the TAP project is one of the ways in which we have come up with that really does engage a number of communities around the country. So let me tell you a little bit more about the TAP project. All right, so The TAP project is,
She's good. She's very good.
like I mentioned, happening right now as we speak, so March 16th through the 22nd. Restaurants will be asking their diners to donate $1 for tap water that they would normally enjoy for free. And so it's not an obligation for the restaurant to participate, but it's also not an obligation for the diner. They can choose to donate $1 or not, but we hope that they'll donate $1 or more to help support these water programs around the world. So we have had a number of volunteers, over 2,000, actually 2,000.
Gigantic list.
Yeah,
Good.
Over 2,000 volunteers across the country who have really helped us recruit restaurants over the course of the last really 3 months, gearing up for this program. And there are over 2,300 restaurants across the country who are participating in the program.
This is really great. This
Yeah.
is so great. Every one of them I'll interview. Seriously, these are the kinds of stories that just make you feel darn good.
Yeah, well, it's really an incredible project, and it will have a high impact. So for every $1 that is donated, UNICEF will be able to provide clean water to one child for 40 days. So the impact that the program can have is really, really exciting. Last year, it was a pilot project in New York City alone, and we had over 300 restaurants participate. We raised $100,000 in one day. This year, it's a week-long program, and the goal is to raise $1 million or more. So,
okay. So obviously, this is this interim help, which is important, or is this sustainable help? In other words, where do we go on this? Because in 40 days, the child will be needing water again.
Absolutely.
So is this the project that we all work hard and get the whole world to fund and get countries to invest billions and trillions in corporations and so on and so forth to straighten out this poor situation?
Well, the funds go to support UNICEF water and sanitation programs. And so the way in which UNICEF works in the field is very holistic. So it's not just here's your water and we'll come back in 40 days. There's sustainable projects. There's research that goes into them. There are technical experts. There are, everyone is involved, including the community, so that there's training to manage and maintain the water filtration systems, for example, if that's the technology that's employed. But the idea is that there's a lot of work to be done. So, over 9.7 children are dying each year from preventable causes like the lack of access to clean water. So, that's a lot of kids and a lot of work to be done.
So how does it work with, because I hear sometimes people say, the reason why the water and or the food is not getting into the hands of the needy is that there's so much bureaucracy and that the governments are, either holding the money or holding the food or holding kinds of things. You hear those kinds of conversations out there in the world. Till I see it for my own eyes, I don't really know it. But so is UNICEF then on the ground without with the blessings of the country, 53 countries in Africa? Are they there with the blessings of 53 countries to do what needs to get done?
Absolutely, and in fact, the political reach and that UNICEF has is a really important component to our program. So we have not just the political will to do the work that we need to do, but that the governments are key partners in that effort. So
that's good news. Okay. Do you have any video also that you'll be able to share with us that we can show? Yeah?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so we'll put some video on now. No. What would that video be? What would be some of the things in there?
We have a number of video clips. Michael might know even more, but we have a lot of video footage of, water programs in the field and different countries. A lot of, kids who are having to actually walk to and from the multiple kilometers a day for hours on end to gather and collect the clean and safe drinking water, or even the unsafe water that they're forced to use each day. But we also have footage of one of our celebrity ambassadors, Lucy Liu, just went to visit water programs in the Côte d'Ivoire, and so she has. We have some video footage of her sharing her stories and talking about the experiences that she had there in that country. So
Great. Well, she's a Charlie's Angel. She could get some things done, I'm sure.
she can.
What's actually in the TAP project box?
Right. So we have over 2,000 volunteers who have been out there recruiting restaurants, and this is a new program and a new project. So we wanted to make sure that people had the resources they needed to be successful. So inside this box is our number of
Inside the box is
well, it's closed right now.
this one. Okay, all right. Well, let's not open it.
Is a handbook. So there's a volunteer handbook that explains the TAP project, talks about the water and sanitation programs that UNICEF supports and the importance of this project, as well as information about how to recruit restaurants and how to tell your community. So how to do outreach in your community, how to write a sample press release, and how to write a letter to the editor, for example. So there are that's included, the kit, as well as a number of the restaurant materials. So there's a sample donation card and Q&As, fact sheets for the restaurants, and a UNICEF lanyard so that volunteers can identify themselves, and a cinch sack to keep all of their materials.
So you're what's good here is that you're taking my mismanaged world and you're taking it and putting it upside down, and that's great. I couldn't be any happier about the professionalism, because that's what it does take. You can't you know, people are in professional working situation or even unprofessional, or it'll be very unprofessional unless you're someone's professional to get these kinds of things done, to manage people, just like, you know, kinds of ways to go about it, and that's what you're doing.
Yep. So anyone across the country can register to be a volunteer. The registration is closed for this year, but we'll be supporting the TAP project next year as well. And you know, once the person registers, a potential volunteer registers online, they have a kit sent to them, and they might be able to attend a local training. This year we hosted 5 trainings in 5 different cities. UNICEF and the U.S. Fund have partnered with ad agencies across the country. So there are a number of cities who have advertising campaigns about the project, and all of that work has been pro bono. We've really had amazing programmatic partners. So.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I read about that, and I can congratulate all of them. I'm interested in interviewing them all as well. It's marvelous. Now, other industries, I mean, restaurants are one, but, you know, they have these baseball games, and they have, 100,000 people go to I think it's March Madness,
sure,
and so on and so forth. So, in essence, this is how many years going now?
Well, this is only the second year, so we're growing by leaps and bounds. We're hoping to take the program to an international phase next year, which is really exciting. We have amazing sponsors. So American Express is one of our key partners. We have Esquire Magazine has really helped us launch the program. All of the ad agencies, including Droga 5, which is one of our key and first partner in the TAP project. And, you know, just tons and tons of restaurants across the country. Celebrities like Lucy Liu, I mentioned. Marcus Samuelson, who's a celebrity chef, has really just generated so much attention and given us so much time. He's really been generous. And, you know, there just have been a number of partners. Turner Broadcasting Systems supported all of the work of the volunteer aspect of the program. So they supported the kits, they supported the trainings, and will continue to do so.
Great. Okay. This is a lot of good news, and I'm really happy to hear about it and know about it. And it's tapproject.org, is that right?
Tapproject.org. You can look up the restaurants that are participating in your neighborhood or in your city and go and dine out. You can also donate online, so definitely check it out, tapproject.org.
Well, congratulations. You're a great spokesperson for the organization.
Thank you.
Too. And thank you, Michael. Thank you, the head of the PR outreach here, and your president, who is a friend with Susan Beer. Your president's name is?
Ann Veneman is
right.
the head of UNICEF, and then Carol Stern is the head of the U.S. Fund for UNICEF.
Okay, well, Ann was... Okay, yeah, let's make it happen. So, Susan wrote her a note, and before I know it, this thing was all happening. So thank you for making this happen, especially because March 22nd, Saturday, this weekend, is World Water Day, which actually our associates helped create the International Decade of Water with the country of Tajikistan, who brought it to to the United Nations, and last night we were at the ringing of the bell for the equinox and the solstice, and not the equinox and the solstice, just the equinox, okay? And so there's a lot of good things happening, and we're going to include the Water Not Weapons from Pete Seeger in this program, and so there's a lot of people doing a lot of good things, and of course it's prime time on Good News Broadcast, and we're happy to give it to every network as well to make it known, these kinds of things. This is prime time, and it should really be the cover of the stock market will go to really very high because this is positive news, and good news always makes people feel good and gives you confidence, and confidence is what it's all about. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. Happy World Water Day.
Facing a shortage of water, Huang Gan must make a tricky descent into a dark pit outside his home. This well is the main water supply for his and 3 other families. His mission is to clear the ice and sediment that have choked the flow of water below. Few households enjoy piped drinking water in this neighborhood of Ulgi, the capital of Mongolia's westernmost province. So most must take care of themselves, digging and maintaining their own wells or using public water pumping stations. Securing a steady and safe source of water is one of Huang Gan's main concerns. He has no regular job, and his family struggles to make ends meet.
We cannot just sit and wait until the government provides help. We have to take care of our own lives. We understand that very well. But no matter how hard we try, our lives do not improve much.
His is a common problem. In rural Mongolia, only 1 out of 5 households has access to improved water sources, and less than 5% have adequate sanitation. Unsafe water and sanitation take a particularly heavy toll on children. In most Mongolian families, children are responsible for fetching water for the household. According to a 2004 survey, more than 1/3 of all children spend 3 to 4 hours a day collecting water, sometimes braving frozen rivers in winter or hauling large containers long distances. Every year, nearly 2,000 children under 5 suffer from diarrhea. Giving more families access to clean drinking water and safe sanitation is one of UNICEF's key goals in Mongolia. Working with communities, UNICEF hopes to improve the quality of water sources and latrines, especially in schools. It also aims to teach children and their families better hygiene habits, such as thorough hand washing with soap or disinfectant. Better water and sanitation are a needed improvement in remote villages like Zavhan, a dry and dusty district center in the western region. Here, 16-year-old E. Bulgan and her 12-year-old sister Ganjur head for a nearby pumping station to refill their water supply.
Water is essential because it provides all our necessities. If we didn't have water, our clothes would all be dirty and we would have nothing to cook the meals with. So water is vital for our lives.
A precious commodity in a place where even basic resources are in short supply. In Zavhan, Mongolia, this is Steve Nettleton reporting for UNICEF Television. Unite for Children.
Go. Fresh water. Free water. Filter water. This coming from? Coming from madam. How many liters? 5 liters. 500.
In the villages of Niger, it is the women and girls' responsibility to seek water for their families' needs. This task has become much easier for Ayu Yau, who is now able to fetch safe drinking water from a nearby fountain that is supplied by this solar-powered pump. Ayu also heads the village water committee that manages the water system.
Our burden is a lot less because we don't have to walk for hours to collect water that's now available in the village. The water quality has improved significantly. It's now drinkable. Our children are healthier.
The solar-powered water system in Guidan Gazobi was installed by UNICEF and supplies safe drinking water to 3,010 people. It is monitored and maintained by women in the community. 64% of people in rural Niger do not have access to safe drinking water. They rely on stagnant pools of water for drinking, cleaning, and washing. As a result, waterborne diseases, lack of hygiene, and inadequate sanitation perpetuate a cycle of poverty and malnutrition in children. Now Ayu can provide a more sanitary environment for her daughter Rekia. She also has one less obstacle to overcome and may focus her attention on other income-generating activities.
Since they've had the system, their chores are less time-consuming, and reduction of the waterborne diseases has been significant.
UNICEF has so far supported the construction and rehabilitation of 44 boreholes and 28 cemented wells in Niger. The water, sanitation and hygiene program adheres to the concept that easing the lives of women and children benefits the entire community. With access to safe drinking water and improved basic sanitation, the life and health of Rekia and other children is greatly improved.
When you weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your
Paul. How are you?
Wow, we didn't talk in a while. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good, good. So lots going on and has going on since we spoke the last time.
Oh, yeah. A lot has happened in the voyage, I guess, mainly with Sonia getting off of the boat, and now I'm sailing on alone.
Right. How are you doing with that?
I'm actually doing real good, and, I've sailed for so many years, and I have sailed alone before, and I also knew that going on a voyage like this, that no matter who I took with me or how many people I took with me, that I might end out alone, so I had to prepare for that. Okay. And I had to prepare for it with things that I've done to the boat. So that eventuality occurred, and so now I'm sailing all alone, and I think I've got things pretty well under control.
Well, that's good news. Well, Reed, you're the guy, if anybody can continue on running a boat, you can definitely do that. We have all our belief in you. Where are you now, approximately?
I'm down below Australia. I'm almost at latitude 40, so I'm almost in the roaring 40s. In the last almost a week since I dropped Sonia off, the wind has been mostly out of the east-southeast, so the wind has been against me from where I want to go.
Uh-huh.
So I've been hitting due south with a little bit of west in my south even. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to go east. So I'm going to be sailing below Tasmania, and then maybe going up into the Tasmanian Sea, or I might sail below New Zealand also into the Pacific before I go up into the Pacific. I haven't exactly figured out my strategy.
Uh-huh, okay.
But for the last week, I've been beating against winds and going south. And just now, tonight, the wind shifted around behind, so now the wind is coming from the southwest. And I was sailing in a very gray fog for the last 2 days. And just tonight, as the wind shifted to the southwest, that shift of the wind broke the fog away. And now the sky is broken, the clouds are going away, and all stars are coming out right now. And with the wind from the southwest, it's come around behind the boat. So I've just let all the sails out and secured everything with ropes, and found a balance with the steering wheel, and I'm sailing downwind now. And I'm watching the compass and the GPS carefully to make sure that I've got a good balance on the course. And I thought, well, this is a good time to call you. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning for me right now.
Wow.
So normally in the night I go into a sort of a sleep dream state where I wake up a bunch of times and I look at the compass, I look at the course, I look all around at the sea, but I'm still sort of dreaming and I'm still sort of in my sleep, so that when I lay back down I go right back to sleep. But tonight I had to wake up and readjust all the sails, and it was real nice to see all the stars come out, and I realized it was a perfect time to try to give you a call.
Wow. So, in essence, in general now, as the lone guy out there, before you go to try to get some sleep, right? You set the boat up in however fashion you think is appropriate, right?
Right. Well, I'm always sailing on a course that I'm trying to go in the direction that I'm trying to go. Like I said, the wind has been from the east-southeast, so it's been against me the whole time. So I've had the sails sheeted in, and I've been beating against the wind, and it's been fairly steady. There hasn't been much that I could do any different. So that holds the boat steady. But now that the wind shifted around behind the boat, it's a finer balance. And I have to get a real good balance, and then I have to watch it closely, and as the boat sails now then on the course that I want it to sail, once it's been sailing for a while on that course and everything looks good, then I can sort of go back into my where I'm sleeping and waking up regularly to look at the compass and to look at things, but I'm actually dreaming and I'm sort of asleep, and that way I can wake up and look around and go back to sleep without really waking up, and then I can get the rest that I need throughout the night.
When the people came to get Sonia, I don't know exactly how that, they came to the boat, so you actually saw some people, right? First time in a long time, right?
Well, so when we were in the Indian Ocean, and Sonia was getting so seasick that she could hardly eat, and she lost a lot of weight, and she's already very, very petite, and so we began to worry about her, and then as the weeks went by, we finally decided that it looked like this trip was too difficult for her with her seasickness, and it wasn't healthy for her to be out here, and I was a little bit worried about her, and she couldn't do anything to help me. But she did keep a good head about her, meaning she didn't get freaky or funny, or I have had crew members that, have kind of lost their mind a little bit out here at sea. That does happen. But Sonia could still, work the computer and things like that. But we realized that she had to get off. So we looked ahead and we said, well, where are we going to drop you off? Because I had to think about that. When I brought her, I told her if she didn't like it out here, or if anything happened, I could drop her off and I would keep going. Okay. And that was always the strategy with the crew that I was going to bring on the voyage when I was going to do the voyage.
I always say...
So when you think, well, now I have to drop her off and I want to keep going, it's a little more difficult than you think, because there aren't really people out on the sea that you meet, and you don't want to get near a big ship at sea. And so you realize you have to make a rendezvous with someone, and that's easier said than done.
That's true, and it's
but with Australia coming up, I looked and there was Perth, Australia, and I knew that John Sanders was from Perth, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
John Sanders is the record holder for the 2 longest sea voyages in history.
Mm-hmm.
He did first 400 days, and then he did 657 days. There isn't anyone who's come close to that.
Mm-hmm. So was it nice that you met him?
Hello?
Yeah, you saw him.
Are you still here?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Well, so then I knew he was there in Perth, Australia. So we managed to get his email, and we emailed him.
Right.
And then we, with the help of Joe, who's in charge of mission control, Joe and Sterling,
right,
they contacted the Royal Perth Yacht Club that John Sanders is a member of, and told them our story, that we'd been at sea for 300 days and the longest non-stop man and woman sea voyage. We were trying to go 1,000 days, but Sonia was seasick and had to get off the boat. Would they help us by meeting us at sea and taking Sonia off the boat? So it turned out that the people of the Royal Perth Yacht Club, Stuart Walton, the general manager, was very friendly and sympathetic, and organized it with John Sanders, who I consider the greatest sailor in the world, to come out and meet us and take Sonia off the boat. So it took us a while after that to get to Australia, and we communicated with them. We let them know how our progress was. They were also able to follow us on the website, where we have our track posted. Our satellite tracking system is posted there, so you can look on the website and see where I am right now.
Right.
So they followed that, and we talked about doing a meeting at sea, out of sight of land, because one of my goals was to sail out of sight of land for 1,000 days. Well, I managed to do it for 306 days, which must be some sort of a record anyway, because nobody's been out at sea for that long without seeing land, I don't believe. And so we organized the rendezvous with them, and then as we got closer, we picked the time. We also knew where the place would be, which is this island off of Perth, and off near the end of the island, or behind the island, depending on the weather conditions. And so we didn't get to do it out of sight of land because there were some gales as we approached, and we knew we had to get in close to get behind the island to get protected from the wind and the seas. So the night before arriving, we were in a pretty fierce gale, and the wind was blowing off the land at least. So that I wasn't in a position of being shipwrecked on the land. I was being blown back out to sea, but it was still pretty scary for me. And by the next morning, the wind lightened up enough for us to maneuver the boat into position near this island. And by the late afternoon evening, when we arrived and we had it timed, we told them when we'd be there by the timing of how we were sailing. They came out in a big motorboat and met us at the end of the island. And John Sanders came over and greeted us, and I gave him a whalebone carving that I had made and that I had on the boat for 35 years. It was a special gift that I wanted to give to him.
Wow.
And Sonia had all of her bags ready, and they came alongside in a big water speedboat that they pulled behind the big motorboat. And we passed Sonia's bags off into the rubberboat, and Sonia climbed in, and then they pulled away, and we tried to film and photograph all of this. We have some of it up on the website, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there drove away Sonia. She climbed into the big motorboat, and then they headed for land, and there I was by myself. And so I set the sails and turned the boat and sailed into the setting sun, and the wind blew me away. And now I'm down in the Southern Ocean below Australia. I'm heading a little more to the south to pick up more westerly winds, and I'll be heading east across the Southern Ocean, and then I'm going to sail up into the Pacific and get in some warmer, more calmer weather. And so here I am, and that's my plan.
All right, Reed. Well, I know Sonia flew in last night, so I believe, and I think next week some people might have something over here at our new studio here in Brooklyn, and we'll, I guess, work on coordinating that with you.
Oh, can you talk a little louder?
Yeah, Sonia, I believe, came in last night here into New York, I believe, and next week I think they were talking about, like a get-together, and coordinate with you, so you can call whenever that is. So I think that's in process. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Good. We all miss you, and you got a great team of people and connected and believers, and you, and here. So we're going to have some kind of a, get together here. And to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's the plan. So
okay.
We'll get back to you and continue on, and let's just email. You'll tell me when it's good for you to, like next Thursday or Friday. Tell me what good. I think Thursday still, the old Thursday was a good time at noon, but I don't know how that works out in your life. But we'll email back and forth and come up with a time.
Right. Well, be sure to email me when I should call for the party, and we'll try to figure out the best time so that I don't have to wake out of my dream sleep state in the night. But I'll do that, and we'll be calling you back real soon.
Okay, Reed. You need that beauty sleep. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, sure. I know I have to take care of myself to perform out here.
You definitely do, and your brother Wave helped me a lot also in our move. over here in
well,
Brooklyn.
that's really great.
Yeah, he's a great guy like you.
Oh, well, then he'll be at the party, too.
I'm sure. Okay, Reed, best of luck. We miss you, we love you, and keep it all up.
Okay, thanks a lot, Paul.
Okay.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to
We'll
you.
be in touch.
Okay, bye-bye.
The nature of tonight is to sing something and also tell something about water. You know, the whole idea of telling a personal story. I'll just mention to you that I'm a school teacher. And yes, Scott Rifkin, he's in our school too. Now, Scott, I don't know if you've had this, but I'd be talking to somebody, and I respect my students and what they spend their time doing, except when they have iPods in their ears in class and they're texting. Right. And say, who won the American Idol last night? And I'll get the answer. Say, where's your water come from? And nobody seems to be able to tell me where their water comes from, but I guess that's why I'm here. You know? All right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I want to introduce our first artist of the evening. Our first artist is a peace troubadour committed to using her music to inspire and uplift. Raised in New York, she is a singer-songwriter who performs positive music, unlike me. With such titles as Your Word is Magic, Peace on Earth, and Where Courage Will Lead. The theme of tonight's show is Water Not Posters Falling Off. Water Not Weapons, ladies and gentlemen, a serious issue. Okay. That's the Chicago 9 right there. An anthem written by Cecilia St. King, ladies and gentlemen. Cecilia St. King.
So this is the dance. Water not weapons. You got it? Yeah. Water not. Yeah. I'm going to introduce Peter here. Peter and I met like 5 minutes ago, and I heard him practicing, and I thought this guy could back me up. So, thanks, Peter. Mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, wounds or scars, war takes life. Water not weapons, people want. Water not weapons, people need. Water not weapons, people call. We're radical environmentalists. We are radical environmentalists. We like clean air and clean water, just like the farmer's daughter. Oh, we're radical environmentalists. Oh, we like our veggies without pesticides, and hate beef and chicken fed with cows who die. We like fish without PCBs and forests filled with old trees. Oh, we're radical environmentalists. We like autos that will cause us no pollution, and we think war should provide a safe solution. We like lawns grown without weed and seed. We'll toss out every gene splice seed. We're radical environmentalists.
The answer is so simple, if you look you'll surely find it. Let the people seed the seeds more suited to their climate. That bottle doesn't guarantee with some magical power that it's better than the stuff you got dripping from your shower. Yet we bottle it in plastic, leaching hormones in our drinks, when we should demand a better water coming from our sinks. You think your water bottle's gonna save you from the drought? You're gonna be thirsty when the water runs out.
If your doctor tells you that you should eat right and you should exercise and you know, don't smoke and things like that, we call that doctor a nag, right? And if you don't do those things and you end up in the hospital and you survive surgery, the surgeon who did the surgery is a hero. Now, to me, the first doctor was more of a hero than the second doctor, but you didn't listen to the first doctor. And environmentalists are sort of like that. We're trying to give you information so that you don't have to have the surgery. Yeah. And for some reason, a lot of people don't want to listen. I also think of environmentalists as health activists, because if the air and water are cleaner, it's healthier. It's a simple equation. And for some reason, politicians are much more supportive of money than they are of health. But then again, we pay their health care, they don't pay ours. So that might have something to do with it. Now, New York City has the best water of any big city in America. Yeah. And the decision makers in New York State are trying to change that. So you gotta love them. There's two watersheds that we get our water from. There's the big one, the Catskill-Delaware watershed. Most of that is in the Catskills, and it's on the west side of the Hudson River. 90% of the water comes from that area. And then there's the Croton watershed. There's about 10% of the water comes from there. That's on the east side of the Hudson River.
Mr. Baby, do a meditation in remembrance of Carl. Carl is very active, of course, in all of our lives, and in Clearwater. And Baby and Merlin are friends also of Clearwater, and Clearwater throughout the whole world. And so this is a meditation for water. Water. And we're sending love to Carl. Water. Thank you very much, Jeannie. May peace be with you. Baby and Merlin are the Parrots for Peace, and they go around and talk to people about how to save the planet, with all of us participating and sharing our good ideas on how we can save the water, how we can save the air, how we can end war and use peace strategies. And so everybody together is part of the unity, and we all need to work together. Because Baby and Merlin's idea is that all people, animals, and plants need to live in harmony on one Mother Earth. And I will let them share with you their conversations. Miss Merlin, could you do flap, flap, flap? That's flap, 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 golden wings. And Merlin uses that activity almost like a dancer, a modern dancer would express information through the beautiful movements. And so that's Merlin's way of saying, let freedom fly. And of course, it's freedom to express who you are in your own way, without anybody imposing their ideology, their ideas, or their agendas on you. So let us all know to let our own freedom fly high. And Mr. Baby, thank you. Baby is going to do a yoga posture. This is his headstand. And Baby does this as yogic practitioners gain enlightenment while still staying in their physical body. The enlightenment that Baby gains is that he understands that all problems have a solution if you look at things from another perspective. For example, you can never attain peace through war.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And because Mr. Baby and Miss Merlin know that laughter is the best way not only to be healthy, it's important to laugh. It really exercises your whole body, and it's also the best way to make friends. And so he's going to do something very funny and silly, which he enjoys. And he's going to channel the archetype of Laughing Buddha through his being in this silly thing that he does. So in making everybody laugh, he's making interspecies friends, because we are all brothers and sisters on this one beautiful green earth. Baby and Merlin are the Parrots for Peace. They say we live on one earth, be in harmony. baby Anne Merlin are the parrots for peace. And it's important to them to save the rainforest in Her Majesty. And on this spring time, this beautiful World Water Day and also Earth Day, may peace prevail on Earth. Thank you.
Water is for sharing. Water is for sharing. We feel within our hearts. Water is for sharing. Water is the source of life. It's where all life began. And it is still important in God's eternal plan. Water is for sharing. Water is for sharing. We feel within our hearts. Water is for sharing.
I'd like to say, my brother is on his 333rd day at sea, continual sailing on his 1,000-day trip. Whoa.
Wow. And the beams glance off the bowsprit as the crew breaks into song. And they sing about the beauties of the brave aquatic lives. And they teach us of our duties in the struggle to survive. With her free flag flying, she's a ship to save the waters. Hear the seagull crying as she makes her journey home.
Water, sweet and nourishing. Water, crisp and comforting. Water, beauty, water flows, but what else does water know? Water poisoned, water smells. Water, so many stories to tell. Water purchased, water bleached. Water for so many out of reach. It's time to understand the reasons for water's scarcity and pain, to understand that biology makes us one and the same. Drink deep of the knowledge of water's dark side. Dark as the rivers in India and China and so many indigenous lands. Dark as the water profiteers and their unfair commands. Water is angry, angry as rivers strangled by dams. Angry as heat-driven hurricanes and their wake-up demands. Water is sad, sad as native tribes and Iraqis with little to drink. Water is crowded, crowded as the chemicals that flow from our sinks. It's too much, it's too heavy, I just want to cry. But this planet I stand on demands that I try. It's too much, it's too heavy, I just want to cry, but the fluid that holds me together demands that I try. I feel so much hope, however, here in this place, looking at the connected and innovative people filling this space. We're all sages in this age where one thing flows faster than toxins, and that is information. If we each tell our neighbors something and they tell 100 more, there's huge hope in the impact of these opening doors. If we search water activism or some such a phrase, we'll find stories, solutions, networks. We will be amazed. As we learn, share, and act, we become a river that's living. Metaphors are among the many things water keeps on giving. Yes, water is strained now, but water has power, especially when seen as teacher and ally, not something that's ours.
One step, then another, she moves with such grace. The water jar is heavy, but it won't show on her face. Her children must have water in a village far away. So it's one step, then another, each and every day. People need water everywhere. It's a source of life, like light and air. Lives depend on how we share. Better start getting it right.
Shook and cried, my daughter asked why. Soldiers were flooding our lands. Oh, mother, dear mother, forgive us our guns. Oh, mother, dear mother, what have we done? It's water, not weapons, our dear mother needs. Water, not weapons, is the nectar that feeds.
Clear water, born of fire and dust, one universal trust, one perfect, precious, fragile work of art. Gaze at the sky, way up high, and nice my thoughts they wander. Cool, clear water. The coyote howls, the wind is cool, and stars a pool of water. Cool,